Grace and peace to you. Stained glass is a beautiful part of our tradition, but it's not just used because it's beautiful. Stained glass actually starts to become popular in the Middle Ages, a lot because it's a way of teaching stories to people who couldn't read. And so the churches built large cathedrals, and they put stained glass in them that shows pictures of Jesus and his followers to teach these stories to people who were illiterate. And it functions similarly in the church today, that maybe we don't think of it as a way of learning stories without reading, but certainly we lift up stories and pictures as a way of reminding ourselves of their meaning and their value. And in our sanctuary, we have 8 windows that go around the church. Hopefully you don't get too dizzy here. There they are, that all show different stories of what's going on in Jesus' life and ministry. And there's one in particular that I wanted to lift up today, and it's this one, because I was actually just talking to somebody this week who asked why this story from the 2nd chapter of Luke never shows up in our lectionary, our 3-year cycle of readings. And actually it does. It shows up one time, but it's the first Sunday of Christmas, which is a day where we always do lessons and carols. So we don't ever hear it read in worship. So this morning, I just wanted to take a minute to look at this picture together and talk about its meaning, because I think it's a really important story. I think it's one that's really cool that our congregation, if you're only going to get 8 stories to lift up from Jesus' life and teaching and ministry, picking this as one of them says a lot about the congregation. And this is a picture, it's the second in our series of 8. It's a picture of Jesus as a 12-year-old teaching in the temple. And you can see that he's here with some religious leaders gathered around him. And it reminds us of the story where Jesus' family, when he was about 12, is making the trek to Jerusalem to spend time at the temple. And then on the way back, his parents realize that Jesus is missing, and they go looking for him and find him here in the temple teaching and listening to the religious leaders. And what I think is so amazing about the story isn't just that Jesus is brilliant and has lots of important and insightful things to say. It's that these religious leaders sit around Jesus and listen to what he has to say and treat him with respect and take seriously the things that he is lifting up in their conversation. And I think that's such an important call for us to remember about how we consider our youth and children and how we treat them. I had a seminary professor who used to say that our children are not the future of the church. We like to say children are the future of the church, but actually our children are the church, just as much as any of us. The children are here and now actively part of the church. She used to say that too often we treat youth group like Mickey Mouse ears, like the church is this circle, and then the youth group is this little circle attached to it, like a Mickey Mouse ear. And that's not at all how Jesus calls us to be in ministry together. Rather, our youth group and our youth and our children are all integrated parts of our life together and parts of our community. And just like we see with Jesus here teaching with these teachers, we need to make space to listen to what our children have to say, to treat them as full members of our congregation. And so I want to encourage you to find extra time in your Sunday morning or in your life or wherever you can to get to know the kids that we have in this congregation, not to just be excited about the future that they bring for us, but to learn who they are and to tell them how much you value their contributions to our time as congregation together and to our worship, and to encourage them to continue to live lives of faith and continue to bless our time together here and now with their contributions, their wisdom in the children's sermon, their songs, their gifts of worship leadership, all of the things that we see them doing in our church life together, because what they have to offer us here and now is incredibly valuable, not just to us, but to the whole world. And we want to kindle that fire within them, and we want them to know how much we care about them and treat them with the same awe and wonder and respect that Jesus gets in this picture right behind me. So that's what I wanted to talk about this morning. Remember that you are loved, and God's peace be with you.